Hi, and welcome to our Google Classroom. In this video, I'll be going over some of the basics of using Google Classroom in general, but then also some more specific information about how I'm going to organize our Google Classroom. So to start off, you're going to need to sign in. And so if you just go to Google and sign in, Alvin ISD students should be able to sign in with their ID number at students.alvinisd.net. And then the generic password is your first initial, last initial, your 4-year birth year, and then sometimes some kiddos have to add 2 zeros at the end of that. If you're having any trouble logging in to your school Google account, just see the librarian and she can help. But assuming that you get logged in, you're then going to go to the waffle. And then within that, hopefully should be Google Classroom. If not, you can just search Google Classroom and then log in from there. Once you've got your Google Classroom pulled up, you're going to want to go to our classroom. If you've had any trouble logging in, or getting into our classroom, or joining our classroom, like you've gotten a message that it's private or you don't have permission. And this is true also of documents, like accessing documents or things through Google Classroom. The number one problem I have found is that students are logged in, like maybe on their phone already, to a private Gmail account. So you'll need to log out of that, log in with your school Gmail, and it seems to solve it. Every once in a while, I'll encounter a student that has done all that and it's still a problem, and it's usually a mobile device. And so when they switch to a computer, it seems, to work just fine. So anyway, some troubleshooting for you if you encounter some of those problems. Now, in Google Classroom, it's pretty much split between the stream and the classwork tab. In the stream is where I'm going to post announcements and like the to-do list every single day for class. So every single day I am going to post a daily agenda and objectives announcement. And so you can see here for the first day of school, here it's listed. And what you'll see is sort of a numbered agenda list. Your job is to do everything above the stars at the very beginning of class, like before I tell you anything to do. So get logged in every day, see what's there, get it done. Everything below the little stars is things we're going to work on together, like during class. This area down at the bottom is for folks that are absent that day. It's going to basically summarize the directions for the day, but written more in a way for someone who was not there. All right, so that is the announcement you can expect to see every single day. In addition to that, within the stream, you'll see other things, and I will always title it like what it is. So like daily agenda objectives, that tells you this is your daily post. But some other things that I might post something called optional enrichment. If I find a cool article or something like that I would love to throw at you, but I'm not expecting you to do it for a grade, it's totally optional, that's what it'll be titled. You might also see something titled class reminders and info. So if this is announcements for class, like, hey, we got a test tomorrow, hey, don't forget to bring your binder, something along those lines, that's what it'll be titled. If it says school announcements and info, that is something from the school, like school saying, hey, we've canceled school today, snow day, or hey, senior pictures tomorrow. I'll title it school announcements and info. I might also throw something at you titled adulting and life info. That's if I find good information about, applying for scholarships or, some stimulus package from COVID that you should be aware of, as an 18-year-old person. Things like that I might throw at you. So all of those are types of things that might be posted in the stream, but obviously the one you're going to be looking for every day is this one that's titled, daily agenda and objectives. All right, let's go to the classwork tab. And before we do, notice there's also a upcoming, this is sort of like due date stuff. So the stuff that's going to be in the classwork tab are all the assignments, but before we leave the stream, you've got a nice little to-do list. So anything that you haven't hit mark as done in the classwork tab is going to show up over here as, assigned or missing. Just FYI. All right, let's go over the classwork tab. All right, the way you're going to see things organized here at the very bottom will be classroom info and resources. So basically this is set up like your binder that we're going to set up in class, your paper binder. You're going to have a section in your paper binder for classroom information and resources, which is like the syllabus and, basic class information. The actual units will be separate dividers in your binder. And so on our Google Classroom, they're also going to be separate units. So far I've got Unit 1 basic concepts in there. And so I don't really add them in until, we get there. So pretty much all of the assignments, beyond the first day, will show up in this basic concept section until we get to the first test, and then I'll open up a new section and so on and so forth. Now, within the classwork section, you'll see two types of material. You'll see something posted as an assignment, which is the little clipboardy guy. That means it's for a grade. You need to get that completed and hit mark as done when you finished it. And then you have the little bookmarky icon. That is for resources, materials. These are things that are not for a grade, but, are things that you may want to access and utilize. So you can see I have a couple of assignments already posted and a couple of, resource items already posted. Okay, just for funsies here, let's go on into one of these assignments, first day survey. You'll notice, the information's here. If I've put very much information in there, it may not all show up. So it's always good to hit view assignment, and then you get a complete list of all the instructions that I've posted. I will always post instructions as well as any sort of link that you may need. As you can see, for this one, it's a Google form. You're going to fill it out and turn it in. Now, some assignments, depending on how I've linked it in Google Classroom, it'll already show up as turned in. But 9 times out of 10, you have to come back and hit mark as done once you've physically done it. Now, this year, I'm not really grading things in Google Classroom. The grades are all going to show up in Skyward. But remember that to-do list I showed you in the stream. If you want to keep that accurate, you need to come hit mark as done when you finish assignments. And if it's something that's for a grade, I'm always going to post it here in our Google Classroom in the classwork tab. And so that's just great for, if you've been absent and you're like, oh, what did we turn in? What did we not turn in? Just come here and you'll see, both what was assigned and, I'll post copies of it. Now, when you return to class, I will also give you paper copies. But there's digital ones here if you want to go ahead and get going with it before you return the next day. Now, one thing I will say is, unless I tell you I'm not taking work through Google Classroom, you need to physically turn it in to me. There may be a few assignments along the way that I actually have you turn in digitally, but I will tell you that in advance. Now, the other items you see posted here involve the material. A lot of times material may be videos. And so there's something I want to show you about the videos. And this is a lengthy description here. I'm going to go ahead and open up this video, but I have time-stamped my course lesson videos. And so if you open them in Google Classroom, you can't see the timestamps. And so something I want to show you is how to open it up in YouTube so that you can access all the timestamp information, so that if it's a 15-minute video, you can jump to the exact topic you're looking for. So this is just a random video I posted here. And if you'll notice, it's opened it in Google Classroom, and so I don't get all that information at the bottom. But if I click here, I can open the same video up in YouTube. Or if I hit copy link, I can copy it and then paste it into a browser and then open it up on YouTube. So when I do that, here's the benefit. When I recorded my video lessons, which I'll show you that in a minute, basically every lesson that I teach in government, I have pre-recorded for you. And this is a sample of one of those. If you scan down a little bit, here is a list of the description, and it says click on a timestamp below to jump into a topic within the video. Well, so far it seems to just show 2, but click show more. Voila. It's going to open up a very detailed list. And so, if you just needed to know more about the Confederate system, you could click right here and jump to minute 7 of the video instead of having to watch the whole thing to find that one piece of information you were looking for. So just about all of my video lessons will have that posted in there, but you have to open it in YouTube to be able to access it. Okay. So with that being said, and I probably should have explained first, within the classwork tab, I'm always going to post for each of our units a video playlist of lessons. And so, for example, I've already posted the Unit 1 video playlist. And if you go into YouTube, here is a list of the different lessons I'm going to be teaching. Now, none of this sounds familiar to you at the moment, perhaps, but as we go through our lessons, and generally they're going to be in the same order that I'm going to teach them to you in class. So if you did not feel strongly about a lesson one day and you want to go back and rewatch it, they're here for you. If you missed a day of class and you want to watch it, they are here for you. So that's how you can access them here in the classwork tab. Okay, well, that about wraps it up. I'm sure there's more to say, but you're probably tired of hearing about my Google Classroom. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And we're looking forward to a great year.